Welcome to the Play It By Ear podcast. The podcast where the topics may vary because, hey, we play it by ear. And now your hosts, Aric Fiscus, Brady Liming, and Todd Griffin.
Welcome to episode 25 of the Play It By Ear podcast, and we're at the end of this podcast. We'll be a quarter of the way to 100. Very daunting. I never thought it would go this quickly. Time flies when you're having fun.
Exactly.
Well, we had the period of time there where we were recording 2 a week. I think
That's true.
definitely.
But I guess how many weeks are we in now? We started mid-February, so early August now. Yeah, I can't use those fingers.
It's about 5 months. About a little over 5 months, maybe. I can't remember if once we started, did we stop after that at all? Did we take any weeks off?
No, we were about 10 days off when you went on vacation, but that's the biggest break we had between episodes. So
All right.
So thank all of you for sticking around with us. Hopefully we can continue entertaining you. After I introduce my partners here, to my left, Brady Liming.
Hello, hello.
To my right, Todd Griffin.
Howdy.
Couple things to go into. We had a Facebook Live before we started this recording. Just a few things about the numbers. We had our highest listen total of our 5-month careers on Monday of last week. We had 57 separate listens on that day. So, again, thanks all of you for that. Even though the numbers of the last 2 episodes are a little down, and maybe people are catching up or whatever, but again, episode 24 is still out there. Episode 23 is still out there, along with all of our episodes. Anywhere you can find us. First of all, you find us on our website, anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. In addition to that, you can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, among others. That's where you can find the audio version. You can also find the video version on YouTube, starting with, is this our 4th episode now that we've done video where you can see our faces? We did a couple earlier on where we were using just pictures of things as we talked, but 4 episodes where you've actually seen us. So you can find us on our YouTube channel there, Play It By Ear podcast. If you search it there, you can find us, become a subscriber, and you can see our smiling faces, just like Brady here. So that's where you can find us on as far as seeing and listening to our podcast. Also find us on social media, on Facebook, search Play It By Ear podcast. Also on Twitter, at Play It By Ear pod 2. And you'll see all these things up here above my head on the YouTube channel. That's where the text will be showing where all of our outlets are. Instagram, play_it_by_ear_podcast. That's where you find us on Instagram. And you can email us also at playitbyearpodcast2020@gmail.com.
We went the simple route with that Instagram.
Yeah, very simple. Yeah, when I set that up, that's the only way I could do it, and I'm not sure why that is. I'm a novice to Instagram, but for whatever reason, that's the only way I could put all the words together. You can't smish them all together in one long word. You have to separate them out. So
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. Anyway, that's where you can find us. So please do pass it along to your friends if they might enjoy a little comedy relief in their life. Tell them where you can find us.
Yeah, and I might add that we are somewhat trying to stick to our every other week having a guest. Of course, Mr. Matt Vaughn was our first guest. And then your brother-in-law, Joe, was our second guest.
Joe Pilger
for episode 24. 4.
4.
Which, again, like Aric said, is the Christmas in July episode. And it was a lot of fun to do.
It was.
It was a lot of fun.
And we realized, like every episode, but especially something as big as Christmas, that episode could have been 5 hours long, probably. We had to really limit it to what we were saying. But we will definitely be doing more Christmas episodes.
As the actual Christmas rolls around.
Actually,
Yeah.
maybe even maybe a month of Christmas episodes or something for December.
Could be.
Because there's so many directions we could go.
Yeah.
I also would like to add that I'm still holding the can of Vienna sausages here.
Yeah, we haven't populated our table here with anything.
No, we haven't.
I
yes.
just about brought something this week,
Yeah, so-
and I forgot it.
And we're going to keep these until we... I think it would be more fun to do the taste test when we have a guest.
Yes.
So you may be that lucky guest that will be on the show and find yourself sampling these goods.
The good news is, you were worried about it being there a few weeks. Trust me, I think that thing's probably been on the shelf since about 1958.
Yeah, I think so. They also make excellent projectiles if you need to.
A multi-use treat.
Speaking of which, if you would like to be a guest, if you'd like to be a guest host on the Play It By Ear podcast, let us know one way or another. Email, the various ways Fiscus told you guys to check. You can contact us, send us a message, make a comment. I will tell you, there are 3 of us obviously here, and 3 of us that look at the Facebook page, and sometimes it's hard to, like Brady might see something that the 2 of us don't see, and then once it's been seen or once it's been read, we may not get the note. Does that happen to you sometimes?
Yeah.
Like you don't get the notification. So if you do make a comment and we don't get back to you, we try to reply. One of us tries to reply to every comment. But if for whatever reason we don't,
Be persistent.
Be
Make
persistent.
the comment again, send the message, because it does sometimes get overlooked, not on purpose, just out of design.
That reminds me, I want to give a shout out to Kenny Enlow for locating the rat race apparatus. See what I did there? And
nice.
That was mentioned in the Sardinia Founders Day episode. So you'll have to check out that episode to see what I'm talking about. But it was a piece of nostalgic goodness that he found at that auction. Thank you, Kenny.
And we said we need to find a 35-year-old rat to go with it. It was at the Founders
Yeah.
Day in the 80s. Yeah, thank you for
Yeah, that
for
was pretty
Kenny.
cool.
All right, so now on to business. The way this works, of course, we have 3 topics. Each of us bring one to the table. We talk about it for 20 minutes, and sometimes those topics take different forms. Sometimes they make you think, sometimes they make you laugh, sometimes we play a game here, and that's kind of what we're all going to do here today.
Exactly.
We're going to think, we're going to laugh, and we're going to maybe laugh at some of these dreams Brady's getting ready to talk about. But Brady's our first victim. I don't know if you're victim or whatever you want to call you there. You have the first segment, so take it away.
All right. So the topic I'm bringing to the table today is we all have them. And some of us remember them more than others. But this is about weird dreams. Now, the twist is we're going to have our humble hosts recall some of the maybe strange dreams that they've had in their life. And the little twist we're going to add here is we are going to check it out. I'm going to consult my handy-dandy dream interpretation dictionary. And we're going to find out a little bit maybe what was... chipping away at their subconscious when they had that dream, or when I had that dream. And maybe if you want me to start it off, gentlemen, I can, or I can kick it over to one of you guys.
Doesn't matter to me. It's your topic, dude.
All right.
Whatever you'd like, sir.
You call it.
Okay, so I full disclosure, I've always been a very vivid dreamer, and they could take on some weird forms, and I tend to remember them. But just to give you an example of what we're getting at here, we know that a lot of people have dreams that, they're being chased, or maybe, the one that always gets mentioned a lot is that they're in a public place and they're in a state of undress, whether they're in their underwear or something or worse. But I'm going to kick one off that I don't think many people have had. And this was back in college, and I had this dream that I walked in my mom and dad's kitchen, walked into the kitchen door, and all of a sudden I turned in, if you can imagine, your your health book from your 7th and 8th grade year, possibly. But I turned into a liver, and my head was on the end of it, and I was a giant liver.
Which end?
That's to be debated.
It's a liver. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It all does the same thing.
For Fiscus's sake, let's be happy it wasn't a spleen.
Exactly. Not too far away.
And I think this was a precursor. Do you remember the timing of this dream? Because it could have been a precursor to you having
mono.
Yes,
it could have been.
Maybe your subconscious knew you had mono.
Yeah, but it gets better. Like, if you could imagine this picture of a liver, and my head was on the end of it like a big fattened caterpillar, and I was crawling through the house, and I was going, "Help! I'm a liver! I'm a liver!" And then my mom in the dream just says, "Oh, you'll be fine," and I wake up. Now, what I would like to know is, does anybody else ever turn into a liver?
Can't say it. I have.
No.
And the irony is really cool because we had a little bit of Skyline before we started recording this, and I always blamed it on the fact that I had Skyline right before bedtime.
You'll have to let us know if you turn into a liver tonight in your dreams.
I will.
So was it, okay, let me picture this. Were you an actual live, like an actual liver?
Yeah.
Or were you a la Fruit of the Loom characters? Were you dressed in a big foam?
I know exactly what you mean, and that scares me.
With just your arms and your feet out of the.
Or were you the actual liver, or were you the health book drawing?
No, and it was a pretty two-dimensional for my. But if you can imagine, if you're watching the video. Here's the liver, and my head was on the end of it, and I was like, wah, crawling through the house going, "Help, I'm a liver. And
that's gross.
It's really gross, and it's really
I just
out there.
picture a picture off of Weird Science, the brother,
Chet,
when he turns him into the poop or whatever, just how it's kind of just a glob with a head on top, and
that's pretty accurate how it looked, but. So, I totally blame it on the Skyline, but the interesting thing, when I consulted the Dream Dictionary, when one dreams of liver, they have a deep-seated fear of people being mean to them.
Okay, back up.
I know.
Back up. So, to me, there are a couple different ways you can go with this. So, you dream of liver, and you see me doing the air quotes on the video. The dictionary you were looking at, is that like liver that you eat, like chicken liver, or a dream that you are? Maybe you should look in the section of the dictionary where it says you dream that you're a bodily organ.
Well, I'd say I've been referred to that a couple times, but
dude, don't be a bodily organ.
You're such a bodily organ.
As opposed to like a pipe organ or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, it just ambiguously said liver. There was no is it like liver and onions that they would serve at Shoney's back in the day? But
so were you like a diseased liver? Like
I looked like a healthy liver.
I was going to say, were you jaundiced?
I was not. It was just like I said, it was just kind of looked like honestly, like a pre-cooked liver that somebody would get out of the butcher's case.
Gotcha.
But it was a very strange thing, and it had to be the Skyline.
Right beside the haggis.
Yes.
Yeah, interesting start there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can never eat a liver, because I know what a liver does.
All right. Well, I'll take the next one if you want me to.
Go ahead.
We just want to kind of round robin it here, because I have about 4, and I will say that I'm the opposite. I don't remember my dreams. My dreams are never very vivid. So even the ones that I'm going to talk about here, I can't, when I'm recounting them, or it won't be exactly how it happened, I'm sure. But the one that stands out, everybody has the dream that you, for whatever reason, need to hit someone. and you have no strength.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty common one, so that's why I wanted to start with that one. And I never really know the situations why, because I'm not a person that. I'm not
You're
a
a
fighter.
lover. You're a lover, not a fighter.
But it always seems to be where there's no other choice. You've got to defend yourself or someone else, and you go to throw a punch, and it's a wet noodle. It's just a limp-wristed effort at best. And what does that mean, Brady? Are you looking that one up?
Okay, I have the answer.
Okay,
sure.
awesome.
I kind of figured this one was coming. I had it marked. When you dream of fighting and it's frustrating and all your fury, you cannot release the energy, meaning you cannot, your punches mean nothing. It says that, let's see, it means that you cannot release the energy you have. It represents your inner conflict you have in your waking life. So
what was going on in your life at the time?
He's not releasing that energy. He's feeling pent up.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the one thing is I've had that dream more than once. So they say people don't have reoccurring dreams or nightmares, but I do.
So do you remember any point in time being in angst in your life?
No more or less than usual. Yeah, it's just weird. Again, and I never remember a certain situation like, I was at this particular establishment and someone came. It's never that part never sticks in my head. It's just the actual physical of like throwing a punch with a broken arm. Just
it's kind of like when Hulk Hogan goes to Hulk mode and the bad guy was just punching the heck out of him and he was no selling it. Like no, it wasn't hurting him. So you were just flailing away on somebody. And So interesting, and the fact that it's recurring, like. There you go, man.
Maybe it goes back to my brother, because he, back then, he would do the old punch me in the stomach as hard as you can, tighten up his stomach, and I'd punch it and punch it and punch it. And,
that's how Harry Houdini died.
Yeah. But anyway, and so maybe it's that, because, I just felt like no matter how hard I punched his stomach, I couldn't get a reaction out of him. And I like to think that after I walked away, he was...
went in the bathroom and
threw
pain, up.
Yeah, some dry heaving, but I doubt it. I'd have been pretty small at that point. He won't do it. He won't do it now.
Yeah.
Eric, what about you?
All right, so I'll piggyback off that fighting dream, and this is maybe a little different angle on it, but I don't know if your little dictionary says anything of a different nature. But
why do you have to insult the size of his dictionary?
Well,
you and your little dictionary.
You and your tiny dictionary. Is it cold in here?
What are you overcompensating for, Brady?
Well.
Anyway, I had this dream. It's at least been 15 years ago, probably now. But my late wife obviously was in the bed beside me. And the dream was someone had broken in our house, and I was running through the house trying to get away from them. And in our old house, and Todd, you lived in this house, you know what I'm talking about. You go up the stairs, and there's like a half wall. So in the dream, I went up the stairs around the half wall, and I crouched under or behind the half wall. And as the perpetrator came up the steps, I came out from around the corner and punched him. Problem was, in real life, I punched my wife in the face.
No way.
I did.
Oh, wow.
So
explain that to the authorities.
Exactly. But I didn't. I didn't cause any marks or anything. I just kind of startled her, I guess. But I don't know what brought that on. So yeah, what did your little dictionary have to say about that?
Dictionary?
What does your embarrassingly tiny little dictionary have to say about that?
Well, I had to choose a bit and piece of that.
Right.
So I focused on you hiding in the wall and then surprising them. So in the dream, if you hid someplace, this dream implies that you are trying to protect yourself from someone by hiding things. If possible, try to confront the situation instead of running from it. So you were probably holding back something that you weren't really wanting to get out in the open. So you hit your wife.
That old chestnut.
Exactly.
Oh man.
So I will say what Todd said. I mean, I don't know what that would have been.
But
That's-
who knows? It's been a long time. Whatever your day-to-day things were that you just got to push back. It could have been nothing major. It could have been like,
Could have been work related.
oh yeah, it could have been like I had 2 cookies instead of 1, and I don't want them to find out.
I will say though, you had an excellent plan to
Yeah, it was
topple
great.
the
I did.
intruder. I would have gone with the little hooked umbrella end out, just to trip him when they walked by.
Now,
Yeah.
I got one to throw into this. Like, it's kind of similar, the whole hiding and the escape plan. Probably, I'm going to call this the scariest dream because I was pretty convinced I was dead in real life. Now, of course, okay, let me just start it off. So here I am on a motorcycle evading terrorists in Sardinia. So I'm on a motorcycle.
Is this like Back to the Future?
Yeah. And it's very action movie. I'm on a motorcycle and I'm evading terrorists. Now, I know there are terrorists.
Was there a
that-
bed race or a rat game involved?
There might have been some rats later, but anyway, like I was just, it was like a chase scene in the movie where you're looking over your shoulder and there's still, and I'm evading shots and very action movie, and they shot me in the back and it hurt. And as I was bleeding out and dying in the dream, I was waking up in real life. So it took me about a minute to figure out that I wasn't hit. I was just having a back cramp, a random cramp, and Charlie horse, or in this case, a Charlie Clydesdale in the night. And I was waking up, but that was really disturbing because I was pretty convinced that I got hit. And the last thing I saw was going to be this terrorist standing over me to finish up the job with the shotgun he hit me with.
Terrorist. So would have this been? You said you don't remember,
9/11.
but would have it been Back to the Future time?
And now this would have been later. This would have been the 90s.
Yeah.
This would have been early 90s.
Back to the Future might be the first movie I remember where like the term terrorist, because you had the people who shot
No.
Doc were
Yeah.
There were a lot of terrorists in the 70s, like people
Yeah.
hijacking planes and things.
yeah. But I mean that's my first memory kind of. I mean, plus that movie wasn't exactly a heavy movie.
Yeah.
It was a pretty lighthearted movie, but had.
And
Where were they from? Where were the terrorists from in that movie? Were they?
It seemed like they were Middle Eastern, but I don't know if there was a particular,
I was thinking it was
maybe Libyan
That's-
terrorists.
Yeah, maybe so.
The interesting thing is, my tiny dictionary has an entry about terrorist dreaming of terrorists, and it says, to see a terrorist in your dream might be connected to your opposite, the shadow archetype that lives in all of us, the repressed and ignored side of the dreamer. This is the misunderstood part. So evidently, I feel like I'm misunderstood. And my bright, shiny exterior, I guess I have a dark side that's coming out as a terrorist in my dream.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You're right, Eric. Libyan. They were Libyan terrorists.
Yeah.
And I will say, and this is kind of an offshoot, but terrorists did take a back seat there in the 80s because it was all Cold War in the 80s.
Yeah.
So you didn't hear much about terrorists necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, and you had plus your Rambos, movies like that weren't necessarily terrorists. It was just baddies.
Just bad.
It was the
Red,
communists.
Red Dawn.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, those communists.
The scariest dream that I've ever had. Well, I have had a reoccurring shark dream many times, which would make sense
We know how you feel about
given
sharks.
my fear of sharks and their inhumanity. But the scariest dream that I've ever had, I'm thinking it was around the time one of the creepiest bad men in movies, in horror movies, would be from the movie Phantasm, and the character was Tall Man, or as Brady would call him,
Tallman.
You know, it wouldn't have been near as scary if I just would have known him as Tallman. But Tallman, if you've never seen Phantasm, it's Tallman is the monster, and he's exactly he's just a tall old man. Tall, skinny old man. This would have been before the whole Slender Man phase. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with any of the Slender Man stuff. If you're not, Google it. But anyway, and then that character combined a little bit with the old man in Poltergeist. I think, is it Poltergeist 2 where he comes to the door?
Yeah.
So a
It's the
tall
second
man like
Yeah.
like Bill Walton.
The Lord is in His holy Remember that scene?
I've never seen the movie, so I can't.
Creepy. So anyway, I had a dream that, and this wasn't reoccurring. This was one night, but I had a dream that in the dream there were multiple nights. So in every night, as I was in my bed, I would hear like mumbling, like just mumbling. Nothing I could pick out. And I would I would wonder what it was, and then I would just finally go to sleep. Well, one of the nights in this dream, I realized that it was someone on my front porch. I could hear we had one of those kind of metal glider, those old-fashioned metal gliders, and I could kind of hear it knock, and it would knock when it went back and forth in the frame. It would hit the frame. So I could hear the mumbling, hear the knocking, and it dawned on me that someone was sitting on the swing on our porch in the middle of the night talking to themselves. So I get up, I go out to the living room, which we had the big picture window, and I could see from behind someone who resembled Tallman and the old creepy guy in Poltergeist just sitting on the front porch.
Like two figures seen together.
Just a guy sitting there on the porch.
Guy.
Yeah, one guy staring out at my yard, mumbling to himself and just kind of rocking back and forth. As I see him standing there, I look over at my door, the front door, and I see that it's unlocked. And I'm standing, you remember my house, but I'm standing kind of the entrance to my kitchen into the hallway, and I see the door. I look up, I see the old man sitting there, and I see the door again, and I start to run for the door to lock it. And as I do that, he stands up and turns like he's going towards the door. And before I can get my hand on the door handle opens up, and he burst into my house. Tallman burst into my house, and I woke up. So that's my scariest dream ever.
Oh, so I think the part I'm going to focus on in that dream, there's several areas, but I think I'm going to focus on the door because it seems to.
Out of all that, you focus on the door.
By the way, this is the palm readers and stuff. This is exactly how they do it.
This is exactly how those hucksters,
charlatans.
So I'm guessing you're married. Yeah, I'm married.
Yeah. But oh man, I just focused on the door because Tallman's scary and everything, but the fact that
so you're not going to focus that I dreamed someone was on my porch.
Well, we could get there, but someone sitting on their porch is scary. But the fact that they were bursting in the door, I think that's what we need to focus on. A door translation can change. Okay, it is open. Okay, so here we go. If a door is open and you can't get it, it's a positive symbol. It suggests open opportunities. But so anyway, depending on the room, it could change the meaning. So there's some possibilities, and it sounds like your potential was like trying to burst through. And with that, it was getting pretty deep in here.
So you're saying that. See, that seems much more complicated. I would have thought I just watched a movie. I watched a movie that I couldn't watch.
Well, yeah, that's what makes this tiny dictionary funny, because it's like
aside from what makes a tiny dictionary funny anyway.
Yeah, I dreamed about liver because I ate spicy food. But the whole people being mean to me, that makes it funny.
Well, and just to finish off my list here, and then I know the time's out, but I'm wondering if you guys ever had this dream. I had a dream many, many years after graduating, and this one has happened more than once, where I was back in high school playing basketball, but I was out of high school.
So you were cheating.
Like I was cheating.
And you knew that you shouldn't be there, but you were there anyway?
Everyone knew that I shouldn't be there.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was cheating. Now, I personally
Were you sitting on the bench, or were you actually playing?
No. If you're going to bend the rules and have somebody come back it's too old, obviously they're going to be useful to you. But in this dream,
I don't think I'd be useful at this point.
Well, in this dream, I wasn't like old. This isn't like I wasn't like my age now. I was always like 21, 20 years old, 22.
Okay.
So I think that's probably a couple of things could be happening there, and then we'll see if you can look anything up on that. I think number one is it's me feeling like some sort of unfinished business, some sort of unfinished task or job. And that's easy to figure out because you're never a high school athlete without the goal of winning a state championship and whatever it is that you're doing, or at least getting, So that's probably something with that.
Blame it on Wyoming High School, Todd.
Did that happen?
Yeah, that was your senior year, wasn't it? When you guys got jobbed at the tournament?
Oh, that was my junior year.
Oh, junior year.
I thought you were saying somebody lied and said they
Someone actually did that.
said we need to go back and protest that loss.
Yes.
Yeah, that was our claim to fame. I played against a future NFL football player in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Played for, did he go to North Carolina? No. He went to Ohio State, didn't he?
I think so.
Plummer?
Yeah, Plummer.
And then I know he played for Tampa Bay in the
Yep.
NFL for a while.
Yep.
The Dream Dictionary, it says that it could be repressed or stored memories, parts of your personality that you think that you need to grow up but you haven't yet.
You could be having that dream today.
Or it denotes a time in your life, feelings, relationships. Hey, I mean, I don't dream when I was playing sport, but I frequently have the recurring dream at college or high school where I have an assignment or something or a test that's due and I forget about it. Man, that's just anxiety, stress. But I know we're over. Aric, do you have anything else?
Brady had, 10 years out of high school, Brady had a dream he was back in high school. And,
Oh, yeah.
And he was in every yearbook.
In every yearbook, and then I realized that it happened.
No dream.
Or maybe you weren't really in. Maybe that's not you in the yearbooks. That's part of the dream. Maybe we're all having this dream that Brady was in the yearbook every year for 10 years, and you really weren't.
And maybe I will wake up, and then I'm still in high school, and all this podcast, it was actually a dream.
That'd be awful.
Yeah. So, interesting topic.
Aric, did you have any more dreams?
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
You're good.
Tornadoes, clowns, showing up with no clothes on.
None that I can remember. Again, I don't usually remember.
Yeah. I've dreamed in cartoon before that I was animated.
I've dreamed in black and white.
Yeah. That's. Have you ever dreamed that you can't see? Like you were getting something that you really wanted, and then it's like you got Vaseline over your eyeballs, and you can't. Everything's like distorted and blurry, and you can't see it and can't enjoy it. I remember getting like toys, and I couldn't see them when I was a kid.
Go ahead, Aric.
Vaseline over your eyes.
Well, like when they said that they put Vaseline on security cameras to keep when they're breaking in.
I got you.
That. One of the funniest dreams I ever heard about, and I'm not going to go into details of it because it's not my story to tell, and it's also, I would never be able to do it justice, but my cousin John, he had a dream once that all of his aunt and uncles, which would be like my dad and my uncles, they were in a band. And like to hear him, he was at their concert, to hear him tell the story of like each one of them and like the instrument they were playing and what particular spot they had or job they had in the band was pretty hilarious. And I've been trying to have that dream myself since then. I can't, but
I could see your dad banging out the Slayer covers.
Hey, what did Chuck play?
I can't remember. what it was, but he again, you'd have to meet my cousin John. He does pretty good impersonations of
Were the lyrics bull
numbers.
Oh,
Bull Hum on Parade. It was a remake of the
Over 20 million
Think of the
records
band.
sold, like Zamfir and the Pan Flute.
Slim Whitman, Richard Clayderman, Christy Lane, Roger Whittaker.
Wasn't there a Williams that you always?
Allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery.
Yes, David Hasselhoff in Germany.
Yes. All right. Very good.
Fun times.
All right. So it's on to me. And my topic is another episode or segment. Am I the anus? AITA. Asshole? Anus? Whatever
Anus.
you would like to put in there. So the way this works is we go to Reddit, which is if you don't know what Reddit is, it's a kind of an open source but no, I'm thinking billboard. It's not right, but
Post.
like a message
Message
board
board, yeah.
sort of
Board.
thing. Like you can type things in there and people can communicate back and forth. But this particular Reddit, again, is called Am I the Asshole?
We've never played this particular game or this live before. The only time we did this, we were remote, weren't we?
Yeah, we were remote.
Yeah.
I don't think we've done this
Correct.
face to face.
Okay, so the description of the Reddit feed is a catharsis for the frustrated moral philosopher in all of us and a place to finally find out if you were wrong in an argument that's been bothering you. Tell us about any nonviolent conflict you've experienced and give us both sides of the story and find out if you're right or you're the asshole.
So I'm guessing that violent conflicts is like, well, I got really mad at this guy and hit him with a baseball bat. Was I wrong?
Well,
that kind of
yeah,
takes all the fun out, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of a thing saying that yeah, you're probably wrong in that particular thing. Okay, so here we go. First one entitled AITA for telling my mother-in-law that her arrangement is disgusting. Okay. So we're currently staying with my in-laws, but doing our best to save and move out. Mother-in-law does not hide that she can't stand me and that our presence is a massive inconvenience. I've always suspected that they had an open marriage because of some of the off-color jokes, but I didn't really care or want to know. Yesterday was my father-in-law's birthday, and they had some friends over. I felt obligated to help in the kitchen because it's one of those houses where the women do all the cooking and the men sit around. Mother-in-law was talking to her best friend about their marriage, and the friend asked if she can be with anyone she wants. And I'll let you enter the word in there.
Yeah.
But an open marriage.
I'm reading over your shoulder, and it was very well played, Aric.
Carnal knowledge there. So mother-in-law explained that they have some rules, and they can't sleep with anyone who is an equal.
What?
She said they only go outside the marriage with people in service-type minimum wage jobs, like their maid, someone who works at their country club, or a bartender. And these are her examples. She said they do that because people in those positions don't count as real people.
Oh my gosh!
So
can we stop and say that we don't? Again, this is not anything we had.
No, this is just a reading of a Reddit feed. This is not us passing judgment on anybody other than mother-in-law here. So I couldn't bite my tongue anymore and told mother-in-law that she is disgusting me. Those fake people have more grit, work ethic, and character than she could ever have, and I'm glad I wasn't born in a Victorian novel like she apparently was. She didn't say much, but she asked my husband to have a talk with me about respect. She is now trying to say that I'm closed-minded, but I don't care that they have an open marriage, but I think her comment deserved to be called out even if I'm a guest in her home. I'm thinking this is kind of an easy one. Maybe not, Brady. What's your thoughts here?
I think that okay now, so wait a minute. We're not.
This is a risky game to play because it's hard. We got to be careful not to come off as assholes. But we have to approach this from a logic. Yes, and using logic, using reason, using being real.
Laws. Since the daughter-in-law is asking, is she an anus for calling out the mother-in-law?
That's the ultimate question here.
I am going to say no, she is not. Because the mother-in-law just sounds like a rotten person. And it doesn't even have to do with the open marriage. It's just her view of humanity and how people are beneath her and disposable.
And I think that's what this person's saying is, hey, I'm not judging their open marriage. That's up to them.
Right.
But this is something I couldn't say.
Yeah, that's pretty rotten.
Let me play devil's advocate here. At the risk of me looking like a giant jerk, let me
Yes, Mr.
I can't wait to hear this.
So here's my take. And again, this show would be very boring if we were just, same page. So, first off, very, very inappropriate behavior by the parents to have this thing of, to even refer to these people as less than because of their choice of career, because of their station in life, whatever.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. That's terrible. But I do feel, and this is why this game, to me, it's not always so easy as am I an asshole or am I not. I don't think this person was an asshole. But I do think that it shouldn't have been them that had to talk to the mother-in-law. It should have been the mother-in-law's actual child, the spouse.
So she should have went back to her husband.
She should have gone to her
and said,
husband,
hey.
and her husband. I'm just a firm believer in, if my wife has a problem with not that anyone can have a problem with my mom and dad because they're perfect, but if she did, it would be up to me to talk to my mom and dad,
Right.
not for my wife to call it out. Shy of them committing some sort of crime. So yes. Right. The mother-in-law, the father-in-law seem like pieces of garbage, in my opinion, with the way they're treating people like garbage. So therefore,
Well, she is. I mean, we can't speak to the father-in-law.
Exactly. The mother-in-law seems like she's treating people like garbage, so then I'll label her as garbage. But again, I think that the daughter-in-law should have gone to her spouse, and the spouse gone and talked to.
Wow. Yeah.
I think that's fair. That's fair.
I would have had a hard time. I'm not very confrontational. I would have had a hard time curbing my tongue.
See, I don't think I think I did. I mean, I would have easily made the choice not to have anything to do with the mother-in-law, maybe not to even go back. But I'm still a respect thing when it comes to.
We don't know how old. Like, is this like a 20-year-old daughter-in-law and like maybe a 45-ish, like our age, or is this like an elder? In their 60s, 70s, 80s.
I don't know.
Not that that really changes my answer a whole lot, but there's some subtleties. So interesting. Wow.
And I, Todd, I like your answer. I like the totality of your answer. I think your take on that makes a lot of sense to me.
It was reasoned, judicious.
Yeah. And I guess in this particular situation, the only thing I would say to that is you also have the angst of these people are living with the in-laws, and this is probably the straw that broke the camel's back sort of conversation.
Yeah.
That didn't allow for, hey, I'm going to wait and tell my husband about this because I've just had enough of these people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard telling what else was going on in this whole situation
Yeah.
with them living with each other. But, yeah.
All right. Good start.
Good start.
All right. Next situation. The title, AITA, for refusing to lend my friend a dress and a pair of earrings for her budget wedding and maybe body shaming her in the process.
Oh, wow.
All right. I in this particular situation is an 18-year-old female, have a friend who is also an 18-year-old female who is recently married. We can call her Jane. We went to my sixth form, and although she dropped out when she got sixth form, I think this is from a foreign country.
Okay.
That's what this is. So
sixth form would be like a
like
school?
like school. Although she dropped out when she got pregnant, we've stayed in touch. Because they're going to be having a baby, they don't want to spend any money on a big wedding, but they still want a small celebration. Her parents have a nice back garden, and it's possible to social distance in. So this is a relatively recent situation. Jane contacted me and asked me if she could borrow some things for her wedding outfit. I didn't double check. I probably should have. But I assumed that she wanted something borrowed, like a necklace, hairpin, etc. And she asked me for a dress. Not a very expensive dress, but it would look quite nicely for a simple wedding. I can see why she wants to wear it, but the problem is that Jane is bigger than I am. I pointed out that we were different sizes, and she asked if she wanted to try it on first. Jane said that her mother, who is apparently good at sewing, can modify the dress to fit Jane.
All right.
I admit I freaked out a little. Like I said, the dress wasn't expensive, doesn't have any sentimental value, but still like it. Never seen her mother sew, don't really trust her to cut up my clothes. I told Jane I wasn't really comfortable with that, but was happy for her to look at the accessories or jewelry that I have. Jane got a bit upset, said that I could always have the dress back, but I stood my ground because it's not like I could wear it after it had been modified. So she looked at the accessories instead. Long story short, she chose some earrings. Jane got really mad about the whole dress thing and said that she didn't want to dirty my lady's jewelry, kind of a sassy sort of way to say, you're kind of looking down your nose at me. She also accused me of looking down on her for being a young mom and not finishing school. So everyone is divided. Jane's mom and a couple of her friends say that they're more hers than mine and think I'm being completely unreasonable. Some of her friends think they're on her side, but
were you going to the edit there? That's some important information, I think.
Yeah. She went on to say that one of Jane's friends suggested disinviting me from the wedding altogether. Someone else asked if in that case Jane would be giving back the things she'd already taken. Now it's basically been split down the middle, and Jane is apparently in hysterics because one of the girls who is meant to be her bridesmaid is being mean to her. I'm going to send her a message asking to talk to her before it gets any worse. So she sent Jane a message. She'd obviously been crying, was still extremely upset. She yelled at me on the phone for a good 5 minutes, then she hung up. Her mom just texted to apologize and asked for a link to the dress, as she and Jane's husband are splitting the cost of it and a pair of nice shoes to go with it. So, what do you think? Sounds like a bit of drama.
That sounds like a lot of drama. No, I got to come at this from a guy's point of view, and because we really don't have exactly an equivalent. But if one of you fellas said, "Hey, can I borrow one of your shirts? But here's what I got to do. I got to split it and modify it."
Right.
That's pretty intrusive.
Yeah.
I think that seems a bit much to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's never going to be the same again. You know what I mean? And I know I'm not jumped into sewing and how difficult it would be to restore it, but that's a pretty dicey prospect because I know seamstresses are hard to find. So I'm going to say she is certainly not an anus. Absolutely not.
No, I agree. She's not an anus. I think it's pretty. It takes some testicles to ask someone to borrow something like that and say, "Oh, by the way, I'm going to modify it." And it doesn't matter whether it's expensive or, there was any sentimental value behind it because she liked the dress, so there might have been a potential sentimental value behind it eventually. Maybe she wears it and something great happens when she wears it. So, but I also think there's something else, and I'm going to sound like a crotchety old man here, but this. Okay, so I'm assuming you might have read this. I'm assuming that the girl's getting married because she's pregnant.
Yeah, out of necessity.
Out of necessity.
Shotgun sort of wedding.
Yeah. But I will say, if this isn't this whole argument and this back and forth between her and the bridesmaids, and if this isn't proof that they're not old enough and mature enough to be getting married, I don't know what else is. And that's not to insult anyone out there who was married at 18, and whether it worked out, whether it didn't, I'm not judging. But it's hard to argue that you are mature enough to handle not only becoming a parent at that age, which obviously it's too late for that now, but
it's awful high school-y, isn't it?
To get married, yeah.
I mean, I can think of a good analogy, Todd. Like, if I asked to borrow one of your guitars, it's like, "Hey, can I borrow one of your guitars?" And I'm going to have the neck readjusted and, do all this modification. I'm going to take out the pickups and put in my own. That's a pretty intrusive, so that just seems like an unreasonable request.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you could apply that whole situation to whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But it just happened to be addressed in this situation.
Can I borrow your dog? Well, I'm kidding.
Modify my dog. Yeah. All right. So another wedding one.
Oh, my.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, this one here could kind of go in many different directions. This title of this is AITA for having a dress code for our wedding. Okay, now... Okay. I've also seen weddings where you see in the invitation, basically, if you have small children, don't bring them to the wedding.
Correct.
Sort of thing. So this could play into something like that as well.
Which I'll add, I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that will come into play when it comes to my choice here, but I have no problem with that.
All right. So this is we, a 29-year-old male and 24-year-old female, getting married this September. Up until recently, everything had been going to plan. Issue lies in a dress code. We've been very clear from the beginning that this is going to be a white tie event. So, of course, there are strict rules attached to that. One thing we're looking really forward to is our wedding shoot. We spent a large amount of our own money on a photographer, so she's looking forward to seeing pictures of people in their best. We've been very clear from the start that the dress code will be fully enforced. The invitations were sent explicitly, and they told the guests they'd be expecting white tie, no unnaturally dyed hair, no visible tattoos or piercings. They were free to decline the invitation if they had a problem with this. We sent everyone who RSVP'd a reminder over the email repeating the dress code. This was going fine until one of our mothers has recently posted on Facebook a picture of a cocktail, and she puts cocktail in quotes, style dress that she wants to wear on the day. Of course, this isn't included in our dress code, so we informed her right away that the dress would be unacceptable. Another woman, who is a family friend, asked if she could bring flat shoes to change into after the ceremony, and we again directed her to the white tie instructions. Unfortunately, this has caused a lot of drama. Most sets of parents, cousins, some siblings, and many more people have messaged us privately to ask us to relax our dress code and allow them to be flexible. This isn't happening, so we have just pointed out to our white tie only policy and told them that they have accepted the rules when they RSVP'd. In our opinion, while wearing knee-length dresses and suits rather than tux might be appropriate for a day-to-day life, they will doubtlessly look out of place at a wedding that is supposed to be fully formal. We're hosting a private event. Yada, yada, yada. Since we made this clear, we've been called assholes by people around us. However, in our opinion, this is our wedding. We've been very clear about our preferences all along. We've even told our guests that if anyone has a problem with this, they're free to drop out, even though we will still be paying for their seats now and not attend.
Sorry, I just read the edit down there.
So the edit.
Yeah.
Just so you know, everyone shouting Bridezilla is being very sexist. I am the man in this relationship. And while my fiance and I agree on this issue entirely, I'm the one who posted the submission. So this is from the man's point of view, not the...
Yeah.
That was a twist.
Plot twist, yeah.
It was a plot twist.
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe we were wrong for assuming.
Yeah, well, kind of goes to show you, doesn't it?
Well, no. I'm going to back you up on a little bit, Todd, because whatever network it is spends millions of dollars of advertising to promote the whole Bridezilla thing. They want you to think that.
Plus, I mean, you know, there's any guy listening out there, if you for 1 minute think that it's not her day on the wedding, on the day of the wedding, you're wrong. And the quicker you accept that, the happier you're going to be, at least on that particular night.
I have always said there are 2 days in the life that are a woman's day: prom and a wedding.
Well, I know you mean there's definitely more days.
Well, those two in particular.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I mean,
but
we are merely props in that whole situation.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I've had 2 weddings. I was fine with. Okay, you tell me when to be there. You tell me what to do. I'll do it.
Yeah.
No problem.
I want to jump in here right off the bat and say that, again, it's not, to me, it's not black and white. It's not just, there's a lot to take in here. First off, being what we just said, that it's the bride's day, they are free to do whatever they want for their wedding. They're free to have their wedding however they want.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as someone who personally believes that modern weddings have gotten out of hand,
mm-hmm.
both in scale and price and show, but not my wedding. It's the bride's wedding. So in that case, they're not in the wrong. They're not the assholes.
Right.
So I guess that's my answer for that. But I will say this. Much like they have every right to have this as their formality, as their wedding, they have to understand if people aren't going to come. Goes back to what you said about the weddings where they ask for there to be no small children.
Right.
I have no problem with that. Now, if I can't go because of that, maybe I can't get a sitter, maybe it just doesn't work out, or maybe I'm against that, then I have every right not to go.
Right.
But I have no problem with them asking that to be, and I will say this. I'm kind of on their side to where if they're going to go through all this and have this formal wedding and 80% of the people are playing along and you got a couple people that just, I think they're the ones who have the problem with control there.
Right.
Because, how could I, if I'm coming to your wedding and you say, hey, Todd, you have to wear a tuxedo, and I'm like, could you loosen up a little bit and let me wear a tie-dye tank top, please? I mean, I'm being pretty selfish to ask you to do that. So I know that she comes off looking like a bridezilla. Well, in this case, this guy, a groomzilla. But I think that they're completely vindicated.
Man, I have complicated feelings on this one because I agree with Todd that they have the right to ask that. But I'm going to go the Jurassic Park postulate. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Like, I cannot imagine telling one of my relatives or friends that, I mean, okay, I just had major foot surgery about 1.5 years ago, and wearing heels is not going to be an option for me. So I'm going to apply that to the, so like if there is a lady that had the procedure that I had, that's not going to be a possibility.
Right.
So am I willing to exclude a beloved aunt or cousin or sister or friend because, okay, what if they're in a walking boot? So are they not allowed to? So let's say that they're totally formally dressed with it. So is that out of the question?
Well, I don't know that we have enough information there just to think there's no exceptions.
No exceptions. Because I think,
but it seemed like it was more like people just wanting to not follow the
dress code.
The dress code because of not wanting to follow it.
Yeah.
So it mentioned hair color, tattoos, things like that. Again, if you have tattoos on your face or you have tattoos on your fingers, it's kind of hard to cover them up.
Right.
But I can also see hey, if you have tattoos on your arms, wear long sleeve shirt.
It's reasonable. I mean, I have a tattoo, and I would never go to a school event.
Yeah, I mean,
with a sleeveless. You know what I mean?
I also think that we're wrong to assume. I mean, it paints it as being this is the way this person is all the time, like saying, okay, if you have tattoos or purple hair, I don't want anything to do with you. It's just you're saying, hey, one day, one night, can you cover your tattoos or can you wear, So I don't. I agree. There's lots of. You might have an elderly parent, but it doesn't really go into that enough for me to call them.
So technically, I guess they're not an anus. I mean, on that issue, there's a lot. I'm doing that, kind of holding my nose, and under, that is the letter of the law.
Right.
So to play by the rules, I guess they're not, but I don't like it.
Yeah,
to a degree.
Well, I will say, and again, in true play-it-by-ear fashion, I didn't read that before I read it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I read that totally thinking it was the bride.
I did too.
Yeah. I mean, that edit was a total curveball. And I will go along with what you said, Todd. I think they have every right to say it. They have every right to set the rules. I'm like Brady. I don't like it. Not sure I would go, depending upon my relationship with the people involved. But after saying all that, if I choose not to go, they're not allowed to be mad at me for not being there.
Don't be sore.
Yeah, don't be sore. Don't be salty.
Yeah.
If 10 people show up at your wedding when you're expecting 200, that's kind of the rules you've set.
Your lumps.
So,
you wanted it formal, you got it formal.
Yeah, and everyone there is going to be in white ties, so there you go.
What if I wear a blue tie?
Not in the rules, but yeah. So I will go along also with I don't believe that these people are the assholes, but I don't like it. But it's their day.
Yeah.
So be it.
You want to do another one?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I in this particular situation, being a 19-year-old female, used to be the skinniest in my family. My BMI was also really low, of 15. That is tremendously low, but so pretty svelte. It was really hard growing up because my family members would feed me everything to make me gain weight, but that wasn't working. They would also make fun of my weight, call me a stick. Mental health deteriorated because every time, basically, she was called too skinny and called a stick. After years and years of trying to find the best diet, I finally came across the perfect diet for my body. I'm really proud of myself for putting on weight. My BMI is 21 now. So she finally enjoys her body and how she looks. So relatives came over on Friday for, and this thing says some prayers. So again, this is a foreign entry. They noticed I put on weight. My uncles and aunts were shocked. They called me straight up fat. And they were like,
Wow.
OMG, you're getting fat. You should control your calorie intake. I was mad. I wouldn't be. Decided not to comment on it. During lunch, they commented on how ugly and fat I'm going to look if I keep eating. Had enough of it because when I was skinny, they wanted me to gain weight. But now that I've gained weight, they wanted me to lose weight, like make up your mind. I started screaming at them to mind their own business because I didn't ask for their opinion. And I apologize for the following comment in advance, but I was mad. I told them to shut up because they're being very annoying when I'm trying to eat. And she used the F word in her comment. My cousins, who are Gen Zs, they're pretty young, found this funny, but the older generation didn't. They're Indians, so from the country of India. So bad words are a no-no. My parents are super mad at me for disrespecting my family. I'm honestly tired with this because I'm finally feeling confident and in love with myself, but they're ruining it for me. So am I the asshole here?
What was the age again, real quick? 19?
19.
Okay. Living up was. Did it say whether she lived with her parents?
I believe these are other relatives that came over.
in.
So she lives with her parents, but other relatives came over and called her fat.
Brady, you want to tackle it first, Brady?
Yeah. She is not an anus. The aunt and uncle sound insufferable, jealous people. I would be curious to know what they look like, because it looks like that they're projecting their insecurities on this girl as a control thing. So that, like, it wouldn't matter what she did. She could be, perfectly toned. She could have a great physique. Heck, she could sneeze golden eggs, and they're going to complain that they're not platinum. So I totally support her decision for telling them to go and
Pound sand.
Shut the coitus up. I think that's what it said. Because there comes to a point, where you could be polite and everything, but that was just being mean and hateful. Like I said, it wouldn't matter what she did. So I fully support her. She is not an anus, and in fact, I'll hand her the megaphone.
Todd?
One of my biggest pet peeves, one of my least, I don't appreciate it or like it when people, this isn't whether they're elderly, whether they're from India, whether they're from nothing. I don't like it when people feel they have to point out to someone else things about their weight. What I mean by that is this. I mean, and I've been on both ends of that. 4 or 5 years ago, whatever, I kind of dedicated myself to fitness and got the best shape I've been in since high school. As a matter of fact, I weighed 1 pound more than I did when I graduated high school. And you start out, it's like, hey, I see you're getting healthy, lose weight, congratulations. And then it wasn't long before, there's rumors going around that you're sick and that you're, and it's like, I could see where this girl's thinking, okay, so this is the opposite. She's too thin or whatever. She felt she was too thin, unhealthy, needed to gain some weight. And then she does. And again, it's like, you can't make everyone happy all the time. I also think that there's something about, I'm gonna make everyone mad who listens to us who's older, but I do think that the older generation, I think sometimes there's some sort of a letting down the guard and feeling that they can say that kind of thing to people. Mm-hmm. I've had people in my own family, every time they see you, they if it's not your weight, something else. It's something about your physical, well, you don't look good. You look pale. You look sick. You put on weight. It's usually old. I hate to say it. It's usually elderly people. Yeah. So I don't know if it's something where in their generation that it was something that was more accepted, and obviously now it's not cool. It never was cool. But back then maybe. So I'm not defending them, but once again, that's not. I think that happens a lot. I think that I don't know. I don't really know how. I would like to talk to a counselor sometime to explain to me, or someone who understands that maybe they're not meaning to be bullies like they sound like they're being, because it's just something in their
Sophia on the Golden Girls was a fictional character, and it was TV for entertainment. If you really are that direct and that's rude. It's not cute and funny like on the TV show all the time.
But does it go into what we said with the first story? And is it okay for her to cuss out and yell at her elderly aunt and uncle, or could have she handled it differently? Because I think this thing always we look at this like, okay, there's one right, one wrong, and I think a lot of times there's not.
You're correct.
And again, before I said that it should be the spouse's job to talk to his parents if something's wrong. Where are her parents in this situation when they're letting their, I'm assuming, brothers and sisters in the house talk to their child that way? That's the angle I'm approaching. So again, I don't think anybody would blame her, but I also think, could have she gone to her mom and dad? She shouldn't have had to, but maybe she goes to her mom and dad and says,
maybe she has.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't even know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of the story we don't know, I think. All right, so this hits a nerve with me. And you see it. No, we said in the Facebook Live we don't get really heavy here. Now I'm about to get a little heavy.
Yeah.
That literally, figuratively, I don't know, but you see this discussion, I guess, and if you look at social media, you look at whatever, there are some people in the world who tend to be in better shape, and again, on the video you see me putting up the air quotes, who feel it is their lot in life to tell everyone else what shape they need to be in. And a matter of fact, would defend that to the point of, why should I tell that person, or why shouldn't I tell that person that they look awful and they're out of shape and they're going to die at a young age if I don't intervene? People feel like, some people, and I don't want to lump everyone, but some people feel like it's very simple to deal with that situation. And I say it's not simple to deal with that situation, as I've been dealing with it all my life. Sometimes I've been very successful with it. Sometimes I haven't been so successful with it. But is it someone else's business to step in and tell me what I look like? I don't feel it is. I don't know that anyone who is overweight or whatever doesn't realize what the drawbacks to that are. So is it your responsibility to tell me or tell them this is what's going to happen to you if you don't lose weight? I have a feeling that people understand that already.
Without being asked. Without being asked for help or opinion.
Right.
Because obviously some people's job it is to help people in that regard, and obviously they're being asked and paid, and they're
trainers.
Yeah.
I don't feel that if you're dealing with someone who has an alcohol addiction or some other type of addiction, people are generally not so quick to jump on them and say, you're a dirty drunk, to their face.
Very true. Yeah.
But for some reason, people feel like they can step in and tell people how they look awful. I mean, to me, it's not any different.
Yeah.
And I would feel, and again, I can't speak for everybody, but I'll speak for myself, having dealt with that all my life, it's not something that ever leaves your mind.
Right.
So I don't need you reminding me about it.
Well, in this case here, it wasn't a matter of...
It was the other side of the spectrum.
Well, it was both ends of the spectrum, too.
That's it's the double whammy.
Yeah.
Which goes back to what Brady says, is apparently, there's nothing good enough for this particular, branch or section of her family. It's...
Right.
Can't be too skinny, can't be too overweight, can't be,
So I've gotten way too heavy for this podcast, and I just...
Well, this is it's a heavy situation there. But now, I think I know what your answer is going to be, but so, do you still go into that, she approached it the right way, or...
in cussing them out, no. Did she have every right to say, it's really none
Shut
of your
your pie
business
hole.
to tell,
Yeah.
shut your pie hole?
That's a good point. There could have
Yeah.
been a middle road. She could have met in the middle a little bit. She could have gotten her point across
Yeah.
without, you know.
And
But I think you can come back from this in this situation she's in, because I think now again, the one thing that's missing here, which is how many things could be explained by this, is the parents. I mean, how many things in life could be explained by where the hell are the parents? But where are the parents here? But if the parents come in now, they can fix this, because they can say, okay, you've each been very disrespectful and disgraced each other and our family. You with your, consistent belittling
Criticisms.
of, and then you with your going against our family custom of we don't use those words, especially to our
Right.
elders. So, but again, that they're missing. There's not just because
Right.
she's 19 doesn't mean that she's not their kid anymore.
Right.
And again, it doesn't matter how old the person is. I mean, they still have feelings.
Yeah. They
Little
shouldn't
kids have
to endure
feelings. You
that.
shouldn't
Right.
tell a little kid that they're that way. I mean, it's
Right.
just, yeah. So, again,
Well said.
it hit a nerve, and
Yeah.
again, I got way too heavy, and I apologize for that. But
No need to apologize.
No need to apologize.
but a good discussion anyway.
Yeah,
It was.
We need to show this side of us every once in a while, that we are capable of going down
Deep
that
thoughts.
road. Yes, deep thoughts with Jack Handy. All right.
Used to love those.
Thank you very much. Good topic. All right, Todd, time for you to lift the spirits of this podcast.
All right. No pressure. All right, so I thought we would end this by playing a game. And usually, Mr. Fiscus, you are the MC, the host, the judge. While Brady and I get to compete, so I thought it would be fun for you to get to compete for once.
Yeah, thank you.
No.
I am not a game show host like yourself, so I'm just going to get right to it and say this game is called Incohearent.
And that's why I choose to do what you're doing usually, because I'm no good at these games. So
So I'll stress the here part. Hear. So incoherent. And the idea is that there are cards. There are three categories of cards. There is the blue card, which is party, gentlemen.
yes,
Yellow card, which is pop culture, gentlemen. And the red card, which it calls it kinky in here. And there are lots of them that we cannot do safely and keep it TV-14. I will call them R-rated, because there are some that I don't think fall under the
Yeah.
term kinky.
The kink umbrella.
But I did spend some time, and we always say we don't rehearse this, and we didn't rehearse this, but I did go through and get rid of.
there's some editing,
Now that we have-
pre-editing done.
Now that we have visual with the video, I feel like we can say a lot more, because these these were the red ones that we could not say on the podcast and keep at or below the TV-14, and these are the red ones that we could.
For those of you without the benefit of video, that stack that we can do is about a quarter the size of the ones we
Yes.
can't.
Don't say we don't have standards on this
Yes.
show.
So the idea is that I hold one of these cards up to the contestants, and there will be some words written here, and I will read them very slowly, and they are trying to figure out, when you combine the words, what the phrase is. And we did do one with two
Facebook
actually
Live.
with Facebook Live, and so for instance, the words on the front of the card were graph tub here. So I'll start out by reading them slowly, give you guys a crack at it to see if you can figure it out, and then each round each turn, I kind of pick up the speed and try to blend the sounds together a little more to create the word. So again, it was graph tub here, so I would go faster. Graph tub here, graph to beer, craft beer was the phrase on the back that we were trying to come up with, or the term. So that's how it works.
And here we go.
And here we go. So I thought maybe I would keep score here and keep points, and the winner will get nothing. You chose the box.
The satisfaction of victory.
What's in the box?
A trip to
Nothing.
Dover, Delaware.
Absolutely nothing. So anyway,
We may have listeners from Delaware. You should.
we drew backstage to see who goes first, and Aric, you were the winner.
All right.
So if you want to pick a category,
Pop culture.
pop culture, that is the yellow cards. Okay.
Okay.
So do you both?
Well, in our discussion, my thought was each of us get a guess. Then in the second round, you can read the description.
Okay.
Then we'll get another guess. You can read a little quicker.
Okay, so we have check, full, hay. Check, full, hay.
Chick-fil-A.
You're correct. Chick-fil-A.
There you go. Look
Nice
at that,
job.
man.
All right, so Brady, you
Um,
want to pick a category?
I know it's pop culture and
Party.
What was it?
Party.
Let's
pop
go
cul-
party.
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 Okay. Spend, tub, ot, all. Spend,
Spin the bottle.
spin the bottle. Very well done.
Thank you. That one made sense to me.
All right, back to Mr. Fiscus.
R-rated.
R-rated. All right,
I'll break the seal.
We have Sir
Okay.
Gum His Shin.
Oh gosh.
Sir Gum His Shin.
Circumcision.
Circumcision it is.
Ah.
So the hint was precise cut, and the description
Oh,
was
gosh.
genital surgery for the common man. Very well done. All right, Mr. Brady.
Pop culture.
Culture, that is yeller.
Wimp.
Coward.
Herb, Pam, Howd, feet, hers. Herb, sorry. Herb, there's no capital H there, so it's Herb, Pam, there's no capital P. Howd, feet, hers.
Her pomelo feeders. Her pomelo feeders.
I don't think
I
I can see it, yeah.
think you need to use the timer because he'll sit here all day.
Her
trying-
pomelo feeders. Her pomelo feeders.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Aric?
Hermativores.
Good try. Good guess, but not right. All right, so we move to the next round. I'll give you a hint,
Okay.
and then I'll say it faster.
Okay.
Cool clothes. Herb Pam Howd feeders.
Urban Outfitters.
Urban Outfitters. Nice.
There we go.
Aric?
Pop culture.
Pop culture.
Oh, that's probably funny.
Ab pole moose sick. Ab pole moose sick.
Apolmusic. 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 Apolmusic? Apolmusic. Apolmusic. Apolmusic.
Ab pole moose sick.
Is this really hard for you not to say knowing the
Yes.
answer?
Yeah.
Apolmusic.
Nice emphasis switch there. Ab pole moose sick. Ab pole moose sick.
Ranger Dan and his...
big.
Don't say it.
Another George Carlinism.
Apolmusic. I don't know.
Brady?
I think I got it.
Okay. Ab pole moose sick.
Apple Music.
Apple Music. The hint I was going to give you a Spotify for people who don't know how to Spotify or don't know about Spotify. All right, Brady, pick a category.
Heck, I might as well humiliate myself. Let's go with the R-rated.
All right. Try Eve Finn.
Dry heaving.
Dry heaving. Very good. See, I told you they're not all.
Yeah.
Not all randy.
Yeah. Aric?
Uh,
Right, we have a score update. It's Brady 4, Aric 2.
as expected. Party.
Party.
Okay.
Bot till bot till cervix.
You know, the great thing is on the video, I'm going to be able to type those words up behind us. And you can play along at home.
Bot till cervix.
Bottle cervix. Bottle cervix. Bottle cervix. Bottle.
This is like a personal problem.
Bottle Vicks. Bottle cervix. Bottle cervix.
Bottle cervix a lot.
I got a big watch right.
That's Flavor Flav.
Oh, sorry. Got my hip hop artist mixed up. Bottle cervix. Bottle cervix. Bolsheviks.
It's party. Remember that.
That's right.
The Communist Party.
Bottle of Vicks. Bottle of something. I don't know.
Brady.
I don't even know if
Bot
this is
till cervix.
I don't even know if this is a thing, but that's all I got. Bottle service?
Bottle service.
What's that?
The hint says Grey Goose, and the little description says because waiting in line is so beneath you. So I'm assuming it's
Like when you're in a club and they bring the bottle and stuff to you.
Okay.
Going to the bar.
Yeah.
Brady.
I don't drink, so it didn't
Yeah.
really enter my mind. But
Let's go pop culture this time.
oh,
Get your piggies.
Vienna sausages went to the floor.
It's not there.
All right. Ton, hold, romp, shoe, near. Ton, hold, romp, shoe, near.
Tunnel Romptioneer. Tunnel Romptioneer. Tunnel Romptioneer.
What is this category again?
This
Pop
one's
culture?
Pop culture.
Romptioneer. Tunneled Romptioneer. It
Tunnel
sounds like backward masking. Like
Romptioneer.
if I ran it backwards, it would say something. Tunnel Romptioneer. Tunnel Romptioneer.
Ton, hold, romp, shoe, near.
A ton of Rob Schneider.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
No.
Why did I say that? Like you were offering.
No thanks. I'm trying to quit.
Trying to cut back on the Rob
Thank
Schneider.
you. I've
Aric?
seen Deuce Bigelow too.
Ton, hold, romp, shoe, near.
Tunneled Romptioneer. Tunneled Romptioneer. Tunnel Romptioneer. Tunneled Romptioneer. Ton Hole Romptioneer. Tunneled Romptioneer. I don't know.
All right, next round, or the next go at this, I'll give you a hint. The hint is son of a, and I'll go a little quicker this time. Tunnel Ruptioneer.
Oh, I just got it. Donald Trump Jr.
Donald Trump Jr. Yes.
I still don't think that sounds anything like Donald
Well,
Trump Jr.
you got, I guess, Donald would be
Donald wrong.
Donald Trump.
Jr. Oh man, that's a
right.
stretch.
Brady.
Oh man.
Wasn't that his?
No.
That was mine. Okay.
No, I chose that.
Oh, I'm
one.
sorry.
Yeah.
Aric, go ahead.
That's what I thought. Trying
Yeah.
to cheat me. Rated R.
Rated R. Here we go. Shook, heard, Addy.
Sugar Daddy.
Sugar
Daddy.
Good. You
Aha.
needed that one, didn't you? Brady.
No, I'm not sure. Let's see. I'll do one more of the red ones.
Yeah. Six dang. Six dang.
When I first glanced at it, I didn't think that was an A. I'll say that's not even hidden.
6 dang. Long A.
I got nothing.
6 dang.
That's what she said. I have no idea.
Eric, you got any ideas?
6 dang. 6 dang. 6 dang. 6 dang.
6 dang.
6 dang. 6 dang. I don't know.
All right, here's the hint. Former Congressman Wiener's favorite way to spend the day. 6 dang. 6 dang. 6 dang.
I have no idea.
6 dang.
I got it.
You got it?
I do. Are you conceding?
I'm conceding.
Sexting.
Sexting. Very good.
Bang.
Not dog.
All right, Eric.
That's a party.
We're making a comeback. We now have.
I think that was
Call it a
mine.
comeback.
I think that was mine.
No, because Brady said I'll do one more.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
You're right.
It is 6-4.
Or 25 too.
Pop culture.
Okay. Can I get a new one? Sorry, we'll never get that one. That's not anything. Okay, here we go. Tech get Mads tear. Tech get Mads tear.
Tech
Or
Ged's
tear, I guess.
Tech Ged Mad's tear.
Yeah. I mean,
Tech Ged Mad's tear. I will go with tear since that's the first thing you said and you knew the answer.
Tech get Mads tear.
Tech Ged's Mad tear.
Category
Mad's
is pop
tear.
culture.
Mad's tear. Tech Ged's 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 Mad's tear. I don't know.
Brady, want to take a
I
guess?
think I got it.
Tech get Mads tear.
Ticketmaster.
Ticketmaster, yes. The hint was going to be $50 service fees on 29
Yeah.
tickets. All right, Brady, 7-4. It's your turn.
Let's go party.
Party. Do-rug tests. The do-rug test. The do-rug.
I'm at the bottom of my hot sauce too. Do rug test. Drug test.
Drug test. Eric, got to work quick to catch up.
Rated R.
Rated R.
The rated R superstar.
Sack, son, Deb, each. Sack, son, Deb, each.
Sack sub.
Sack, son, Deb, each.
That son of a.
Sack, son, Deb, each.
Sack sub the beach. Sack son the beach.
This is Johnny Dangerously.
You have violated my. Sack on the beach. Sack on the beach.
Barstage.
You're so close, like tiptoeing around that I'm shocked that it's not coming to you.
Sack on the beach. Sack on the beach.
Back and forth.
Sack on the beach.
Gosh, you're right there, man.
Sack on the beach.
You sound like, what's his name? Kind of like, what was the guy on Perfect Strangers? Balky.
Barky.
Barky. That's Kirk Schlichter's dog.
Sack, son, Deb, each.
Sack on the beach. I don't know.
Brady?
Hi, guy.
Okay.
Sex on the beach.
You're right there. Sex on the beach.
Sack on the beach.
Back and forth.
Back in the board.
Sex on the beach. Sex on the beach. Sex on the beach.
All of me, right? All of me. That's a
All of
movie.
me. Lily Tomlin and Steve
We're doing
Martin.
it. Back in the boy. Get it back in the boy.
Yeah, I thought for sure you had that one. You were.
Yeah, you were right there, man. You were about in the water.
Story of my life.
All right, Eric Brady.
Oh. Let's top it off with a pop culture.
Okay. Shown meant dis. Shown meant dis.
Because he did mean dead. Shown Tremendous. Is tremendous? Is that like an Urban Dictionary word for like a tremendous show? Tremendous. Tremendous?
No.
Okay.
Shown meant dis.
Oh,
Showmentis. Showmentis.
Eric, I'm conceding.
Showmentis. Showmentis.
As soon as I say I officially concede, I think I might have it.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'll give you a
I
hint.
guess you got it.
I don't think you need to give me the hint.
Those dimples, though. I'll go faster. Shown mentis. Shown mentis.
Shawn Mendes.
Shawn Mendes. Yes.
I don't even know who that is.
He was kind of a boy band pop
Well,
bubblegum
exactly.
dude.
Eric.
I don't have a 13-year-old daughter.
I've heard
Those
of it.
dimples.
Eric, you want to pick?
Do it. You
Whatever the blue one is. Party.
Hug cup called sure. Hug cup called sure.
A cup culture. A cup culture. Something culture. A cup culture. Hug up 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 culture. Saved by the bell. Hug up culture. Hug up culture. Hug up culture. I don't hear these things when
I have when we're done. I got a headache.
I don't know.
Brady, do you know?
I think now I don't know if this is a thing. I'm only going by phonetics. So once again, I'm gonna, one of those urban hookup culture.
Hookup culture, yes. All right. I'm going to end it with a red one. Whoever gets this one wins the game. Ready?
Who gets to go first?
Eric.
Aisle, hike, peg, bus, hike, and hot done high. Aisle, hike, peg, bus, hike, and hot
See,
done high.
and I'm going to sit here saying these words into my microphone. I'm going to sound like an idiot because it's probably just right there, and I can't. I'll hike peg bus and I'll hike peg bus, hike and hot dog high. That sounds like some off a
I feel like I should
Chinese restaurant menu.
I was going to say, I think you just ordered dinner.
Do you remember something about Mary when Matt Dillon's character said that he had been in Tibet?
Yeah.
And they called me Hong Dong Tai.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of like.
I'll hike peg bus, hike on Hondan High.
Sure why you instantly get that accent.
I don't know.
I got it. No,
Got nothing?
I like Big Miss. Oh, I got it.
You got it?
Did you concede? Do I get a hint so I could possibly get
Oh,
this?
whose was it?
I said I didn't know. I started first.
Okay.
But then you said you didn't know. Then you all of a sudden said I got it.
Go ahead.
So I'll give a hint and see if Eric can get this. The hint, can't deny.
It's not much of a hint.
And I gotta go faster. I'll hike peg bus, hike and hot done high.
It does nothing for me.
I'll hike peg bus, hike and hot done high.
See, you got the accent too.
I'll hike peg bus, hike and hot done high.
I'm shutting my eyes trying to hear it.
I'll hike peg bus, hike and hot done high.
I don't know.
I got it. Now, if I may, are you conceding?
I'm conceding.
Okay, I'm going to say it the incorrect way,
Okay.
but in the right cadence. I'll hike, peg, bus hike a hot and high. I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Yeah, I like big butts and I cannot.
Oh. See, this is why I choose to host all the time. I knew good and well.
Final score,
Yeah,
Brady 12, Aric 4.
exactly.
Brady, you win nothing.
Nothing.
You chose the box. You so stupid. What's that? UHF?
Yeah. All right.
By this guy.
Spatula City.
Sure makes all low hot.
We should
Sorry.
have a podcast, an entire episode about the greatness that is UHF, though. It's a classic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my. That was fun.
That was a better way to lift the spirits of this podcast after I dragged us down.
Yeah, if you're not laughing at that, if you're not amused by that somewhat,
I don't know what's wrong with it.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, listen to me going, I got it.
I'll hike big bus hike and hike.
I think because I have a hearing loss, I could put bits and pieces of words together and my brain can deprogram it a little bit. I think I might have a little bit of an advantage there.
Yes, you're cheating.
I'm cheating.
Your hearing loss is a cheat. All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Again, the housekeeping duties here at the end. You can find us at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and the iHeartRadio app, and other places you can find, most any other place you can find a podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, so you can see this hilarity with your eyes as well as hear it with your ears. And those episodes will tend to drop a little bit later than the audio ones. It takes a little bit more editing there, but be on the lookout for there. Go to our YouTube channel, become a subscriber, so you can get emails telling you when those episodes will drop. Also, you can find us on social media on Facebook, search Play It By Ear Podcast. Also find us on Twitter at Play It By Ear Pod 2. And again, you'll see all this above my head here. Find us on Instagram, play_it_by_ear_podcast.
The bouncing ball.
Yes, exactly. And you can also email us at playitbyearpodcast2020@gmail.com. I think that was everything, wasn't it?
Well, we are looking for a guest host, right?
Yeah.
So we've said it in the past. If you are interested in,
You may be contacted, so
if you're interested in being a guest host on the podcast, give us a text message, a voice message, an email. Let one of us know.
yes.
Smoke signals.
Smoke signals. Send a carrier pigeon.
Yeah. I thought it said stool pigeon.
Still bad.
Wrong one.
Send a musk deer.
All right. So, if you're interested in that, also leave us a voice message. There's a link at your provider. You can click on the link, leave us a voice message. We can put it right into the podcast if you so desire to do that. Some people don't like to have their voices heard, but we would certainly like to hear that. But any way possible, interact with us.
And if you feel like it, you can. We need to get a physical address for the podcast. And
I'll tell you what, I'll put one right up here.
Yeah, we'll put a physical address up there. And if you feel like donating a canned meat or some sort of product like that to our
table of fame,
and we've thought about or talked about having some tasting.
Yeah.
Some sampling of these goods.
It's all fun and games till somebody sends a jar of lutefisk or something.
So we would be happy to receive any canned good or canned meat. This isn't like a canned food drive. I don't want you to think that. This is pretty much just for us to sit on the table. It actually works better back here.
So,
Right by me. So, it'd be pretty cool. Or any fan mail. If you want to send any fan mail. The old-fashioned way.
Yeah. You earn it. Those of you a certain age will recognize that. All right, so stay tuned for episode 26. Thank you for the first 25 episodes. Thank you for being good earbuds.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter at Play It By Ear Pod 2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we play it by ear.